Hey everyone, Tankenstein here. In this video, I've got your first gameplay and overview from the Air Superiority dev server for the Mirage 4000. This is a currently rank 8 battle rating 12.0 fighter in the French Air Force's tech tree and is actually after the FAE in that tree. Now that being said, this is actually a really interesting fighter. It's a dual engine, twin engine version of the Mirage, which is awesome. It looks really cool, but also something that I literally just found out right now, and you wouldn't know it just by looking at the secondary weapons here. Now, as you can see here, this looks like an empty spot, but it actually has a drop tank and 2 missiles. So I think this is like the first one. This is the first vehicle in Warthunder where the drop tank has pylons on it. Very interesting. Now these are smaller drop tanks, mind you. So the actual drop tanks that you can get, like the individual ones, are a bit larger than this if you do not have the missiles on them. But of course you're going to want the missiles on them. And because of that, you can have up to 8 Magic 2s, which is pretty cool. Plus, of course, 1 radar guided 530F underneath. So pretty damn large amount of missiles for any aircraft. I think this is the second most missiles you can have in Warthunder, next to, at this point, the Sukhoi 27, which is impressive, and that only has 10 missiles. Now that said, this looks like a 500 liter drop tank. This is 2500 liter, so it is substantially smaller, but a drop tank it still is. Now, insofar as its modifications are concerned, as you can see, this is what it looks like. This is what it has. Now, it does not have flares or chaff standard, unfortunately, and you do have to add them as a piece of secondary ordnance. Now, thankfully, nothing insofar as air-to-air ordnance can be used by this pylon, so you're not really sacrificing much. Rather, you are just sacrificing a hard point for a 250 kilogram bomb, which kind of sucks a little bit if you're going after ground targets, but not all that much. Otherwise, it does have laser-guided munitions, the Atlas 2 pod, you have laser-guided bombs, so this thing should be pretty capable for CAS, but much more so for air combat. So overall, a very good multi-role aircraft. We're gonna have to wait and see. I mean, the Magic 2 missiles, they are good, don't get me wrong. All aspect, 35 Gs of overload, so on and so forth. IRCCM, pretty good. We'll have to wait and see. Its long-range capability is limited with only one 530F, but let's get into a few matches, see what we could do, and again, bear in mind, everything on the dev server is subject to change, so anything that you see here will likely change or possibly change. That said, let's get into it. I know some people are going to ask, does this have a working cockpit model? No, unfortunately. What the hell? So not only did I explode mid-flight, but this thing seems to be just floating right now. It's like, what is even going on with this? This is a really bugged model right now. Again, dev server, but man, oh man, this thing has some problems right now. Holy cow. Beautiful aircraft, by the way. I mean, like, seriously, Gaijin did a great job, but wow. And it happened again. I blew up again. Okay, so it seems as though we've actually made it to the battle this time. We are pretty much there. The difference here is that I did not use the afterburners as much, and so I'm not going like an extra 200 kilometers per hour. I'm not sure if that has to do with it. It very well might, but hopefully we're good henceforth. Now that said, we do have an F-14 way up there in the sky. Let's see if I can lock onto him. It's locking onto enemies that are way farther away. Okay, so the Magic 2 should be able to actually hit that guy. I don't suspect with all too much of an issue. I might fire another missile at him. Okay, good. He's dead. Just because I've got like such a crazy array of missiles. Hopefully this does hit that J-11. Now, the J-11 is the Su-27. So you want to bear that in mind. Let's see if my guns can kill him. Got him! And I survived! Very nice. So this does have the DEFA cannons, which are cool. Don't get me wrong. He's gonna die. Maybe not. Who knows? Oh, yeah, he's dead. Don't know how he, don't know why he died so badly there. But he did! We have an F-15 here. He's dodging, and it doesn't matter. This is a very weird thing, because, like, I don't feel that I can accurately use this. Like, I don't feel like I can push this thing because of the spontaneous explosions that it suffers. So, MiG-29. I really don't want to do that. I'm gonna die. I'm not gonna die. I'm still alive. Oh my goodness! Man, this thing is just bad luck. Okay, we're just gonna try this one more time with this vehicle because it seems like I've got terrible, just absolutely awful luck with this thing. Like, I don't know what it is. The first two matches I get in, this thing just blows up out of nowhere, and then I get somehow into a collision with one of my allies. Just weirdness. Okay, firing on this F-16 here. Hopefully he doesn't notice me. And he, of course, will. Now, the maneuverability on this is great. Look at those leading-edge slats, by the way. Ooh, and I hit that MiG-29. Now, one of the great things about the Magic 2 is that they actually have relatively decent range, which obviously I do really enjoy. Let's see. Hopefully we can hit that guy there. I don't know what the hell is going on with this F-16. But it looks like, might I hit him? I'm not sure. Probably not. Doesn't really matter, does it? Let's try that one more time, and now try to aim at this guy. Now, again, one of the great advantages of this aircraft is just how many missiles it can carry. It's just wonderful. They're not the greatest in the game, but they're definitely not absolutely terrible either. So let's turn. Awesome maneuverability thus far on this. Just trying to fire a little bit on him. Probably not going to get a hit. Now let's go fire this Magic on him, and he's dead. Because of course he is. The Magic 2 is a good missile. It's not the top missile in Warthunder, but it's definitely a good one. I can't really complain too much about it. But, I mean, overall, what do I think about this aircraft? Acceleration is great. The overall performance on this thing is really nice. It loses a lot of energy, as one might imagine, in turns. It is a Delta Wing, after all. The forward canards are non-functional. They are just there. I mean, they're not moving like they do on the Gripen. It's got good weapons, I think, for the most part. The radar-guided missile is a little bit disappointing, rather. Maybe I'm just not a big fan of the radar-guided Magics, but it is what it is. But, I mean, overall, it's a pretty damn effective fighter. I'm actually surprised. It kind of reminds me, in some ways at least, kind of like the Gripen in some ways. I mean, personally, I would rather have the Gripen. Ooh, why did I do that? Personally, I would rather use the Gripen than this. That's just me. But I still think that this is a very good fighter in and of its in its own right. It's definitely very effective. Would be probably a good. Oh wow! I didn't fire the missile I wanted to at him, but not a big deal. If you guys are wondering, I think it is the other map that was providing this thing with those jumps on the runway rather than the plane itself. But with that said, just kind of continuing my final thoughts on the Mirage 4000. I think this is a very good aircraft. It's obviously being positioned more as a close-range dogfighter as of current. I could tell you this, that with somewhat judicious, fuel consumption, you can actually just use it with minimum fuel load plus those thin fuel tanks. Now, I think that these thin fuel tanks don't carry this much fuel. It just doesn't make much sense to me. It might, but I think that they just kind of gave it the same fuel load as the larger 2,500 liter fuel tanks. These are just 500. But again, this is the dev server. A lot of things are incomplete. And I also might be wrong, but something just tells me that 1,000 liters of fuel is not going to give me that much time in the air, especially at full thrust. Now, otherwise, again, very good. It's got some energy retention issues, which is pretty typical of a Delta Wing fighter, but it turns incredibly well. I think overall, this is probably a better aircraft than the Gripen. It's faster, that's for sure. But, and also I do like the AIM-9Ms more than I like Magic 2s. Not that Magic 2s are bad by any means, but just for my own purposes, the Gripen is a little bit lighter, holds energy a touch better, and also turns a bit better as well. So, there are some advantages to this versus that, and, to that versus this, if that makes a level of sense. But overall, very, very good plane, the Mirage 4000. Hopefully, they fix its bug issues. I'm sure they will. Hopefully, they will. But we'll have to wait and see. Well, I fired on that Su-27 before he was hit, so technically speaking, that was not a kill steal. So I kind of don't feel bad about it. Plus, it's the dev server. Dev server kill steals don't really count so much, in my opinion. It is what it is. Ooh, and I got a nice crit on him with my 30s. Let's just try this one more time. A lot of the time, once people fire off, like, once they get damaged critically, they just stop caring about firing off flares. I don't know if you guys do that. I know I certainly stop caring as much about flares because you already know that you're screwed. I mean, how much more can you really do when you're critically hit in an aircraft? There's no mid-air repair for that, you know? Okay, we have one final enemy here. Would use the other magics, the radar guided, but I just don't really feel like it's usable so much in this instance. So let's... Oh, got the kill. Now, we have to remember, these magics, the Magic 2s, they are IRCCM, which is really nice. Let's see if we can turn in on this F-15. No problem at all. Turn up a little bit. Launch it. Little stealth launch. And... Oh, you know what? He's already dead. Oh, there's another F-15. There's a lot of F-15s here. Hopefully I can get this kill. No, I'm not. IRCCM, man. Anyways, that's about it. I like the Mirage 4000. It's a very good aircraft for what it is. Again, hopefully the bugs get fixed. And it's got limited, at least currently, somewhat limited long-range support. And also CAS seems like it's going to be pretty decent with this. But either way, thanks so much for watching. If you don't mind, please consider liking, commenting, subscribing as I'm falling to my death. But thanks so much. I'll see you all on the other side. Take care, everyone.